Yeah, that's working. Great. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Gina from Expanding Consciousness, and this is Susan from Capricorn Spirit.
Hi,
Hello.
good morning.
So today we're going to talk about, can we program crystals or not? And we're also going to talk about relationships with crystals. I know myself, I have a habit of talking with everything because I feel and sense the energy in everything. I'll even go as far as talking to my computer in my car, and but we shouldn't forget about talking and communicating every day with our crystals, should we?
No, we shouldn't. And I talk to my computer regularly. I don't know whether it appreciates what I say to it sometimes, but yeah, we talk to it. No, yeah, our relationship with our crystals. So what I do tend to say to people is you come into the shop and you get beautiful crystals, and then you take them home with the purpose that you were going to use them for a specific thing. So you may come in to get some crystals for your anxiety. So I'll talk to you about lepidolite, which is very, very good for anxiety, or lithium quartz, or one of the quartzes that does have lithium in it, because they work very well for our anxiety. They're very calming. So I will talk to you about that, and some of the things I will say is how to use the crystal. So now that crystal is for anxiety because that's how the earth has programmed that crystal, not us. The crystals come from a different crystal system, and they're built, and their cellular structure is built to do a specific thing. And part of what lepidolite and lithium quartz and crystals like that, part of what they are, just one part of what they will do for us, is to keep us calm. So they're a very calming crystal. So you can't then program that crystal to do something totally different. The earth is programmed crystal. That's why we use them for natural health. We don't use them because we believe we can program them or manipulate the crystal to do something else for us. That's not how it works. So when I say, hear people say, oh, they're going to go and program this crystal to do something, and I'm like, yeah, well, if that's not in that crystal's makeup, if that's not in its cellular structure of what it's been developed to do, then it's not going to do it. You may do it, but the crystal's not doing it. Yeah. So now, can we intent? Now, there's a difference between programming and the intent of using a crystal. So if I'm picking up the carnelian here, and the reason I'm picking up this carnelian and wanting to use it is because I know I've got to do some writing, I've got to do some preparing for workshops and things like that, so I need to prepare some presentations or have something for people to take away. So I'm picking up the carnelian and wanting to use it to enhance my creativity. Now, I'm not programming it to do that. The intent of me using it is to help with my creativity. And so I will sit with it for a while, I will hold it, I will normally close my eyes and just sort of connect with the crystal, and I will ask, can it please support my creative endeavours? Thank you. And that's what I will do, and that's intenting. So that's different than what people say when they're going to program it to do it. So yeah, so you can have an intention for the purpose that you're using that crystal. So, and we can talk to the crystal about that and things. Now, the other thing I say for people to do as well, so if you were to purchase this in the shop, when you get it home, the one thing I do recommend people do is have a little meditation with your crystal. It doesn't have to be long, it doesn't need to be like a whole 3 hours or anything like that, just a quick 10 minutes even, where you will hold your crystal, you grow in your mind's eye, grow the crystal as big as you possibly can, so it's like a big room in the house, and then ask the crystal if you can enter and sit inside the crystal, and then ask how are you and the crystal going to work together. Okay, because it's not a one-way relationship. So I was talking to Gina before about it's a reciprocal relationship. We talk to the crystals and have their support, but they also need from us as well. So they need that connection. They need to be held occasionally. They need you to talk to them occasionally. When I enter my shop, I go around say good morning to every crystal. So there's that connection with you. There's the connection in with your energy. So all of those things are really important when we're working with our crystals.
That's really good tips. And I know that with my crystals as well, I like to connect in with them like Susan mentioned. But I also go as far as kind of introducing them to my house. Now, I know that a crystal is intelligent and I know that it knows where it is. It's got that, that unspoken understanding of where it is. And it's obviously, we've had an agreement at the shop that it's going to come home and I'll be its guardian for a little while,
Yeah.
But when I get home, I'm like, this is my cat, this is my children, this is, and I have a little bit of a chit chat and I say, whereabouts would you like to sit for the moment, and it might change in a few days or a few months, but, and there's some shelves or there's, bedrooms, or, where are you going to live for a little while? So, have a real chat.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. They are living beings to me. So it's important that they are comfortable. Now, many people would come to my house and they would see all my crystals everywhere and go, But even if they are spread all around my house or they're in a bowl or wherever, I've always still acknowledged them. They still know that I'm there for them. And you can also, one of the things I do regularly is allow them to rest. So I will put them normally in my spare room and they'll be on trays and containers, and I will put them in there with the intent that they can have some time out from helping me and my dogs and the energy in my home. So that's also important. They're not put anywhere away in the dark. I don't go shoving them in a whole pile of drawers. They are still just out, but they're in a space that's not used in my home very often. So that also gives them some time out. So and I call it letting them go back to sleep for a while.
Yeah.
So that's important as well.
Thank you. And I noticed too that when you were defining sort of intention or putting intent into the crystal, that you actually, the words that you used and the feeling from sitting next to you was actually a lot of gratitude, and it was a heart space when you do go into that intention. So, which is different to the programming kind of language, because programming as a word is a little bit more harsh and cold, whereas intention is a bit more warm and heartfelt, has gratitude kind of within it as well.
Yes.
And so the way, remember to speak, with your crystal, just like a really good friend. You wouldn't be like, do this, do that. It would be,
And they won't. No. And they do want to connect with you as well. So, and I know people will say, I've got lots of crystals at home and I've got them all around the shelves and and they don't do anything. And they know they won't do a lot for you unless you are connecting with them. So it's not enough just to buy the crystal and take it home and put it somewhere and then just leave it there with the belief that, that crystal will work on my sacral chakra or my, because regularly we use the crystals on our chakras. You do actually have to be interacting and connecting. So, yeah.
And remember, crystals, just like a good friend, they're with us for a while. It doesn't have to be a lifetime. Sometimes they're meant to go to someone else or be somewhere else.
Yeah.
So if you haven't been using them for a while, maybe connect in and have that conversation with your crystal. Are you still in a relationship?
Yeah.
Or is it time to move on and maybe it's got a new guardian or a new place to be and go and do its work?
Yeah. And that's true. Now the other thing that people ask around that too is if they break, the crystal breaks. Sometimes our crystals break. Even in my home, a crystal might break. Then, depending on what that breakage is, will depend whether I bury it back in the garden and allow it to go back to the earth, or if I will look and say, maybe it's meant to be two pieces. Maybe one of the pieces is meant for someone else. So regularly, a crystal may break for that purpose. And you'll have someone come into your life quite quickly after the crystal's broken, and it'll be quite clear, that person needs that energy. And so it's not that it's no longer energy there for you and that you don't need it sometimes. It is sometimes that it's needed to go to someone else as well. So, but as much as true as well when they break, when we are finished with using them, or they will disappear. Many a time, like people say, oh, I had this amazing labradorite, or I had this amazing amethyst, and now I can't find it anymore.
I've had that too.
Yeah. And I will say to them, but that's okay. It's either gone somewhere else or it's put itself away and you don't need it at this particular point. I have it happen in the shop, and some of you will know this when I'll say, oh, I've got just the crystal that will do that when I'm thinking of the crystal energy, and I will go out the back to look for it, and I come back out and go, sorry, can't find it. So, or it's not on any of the shelves. It's maybe not meant to be for you. And then the person will leave the shop, and 5 minutes later, there's the crystal. And so it's known that if they're not for you, they won't be visible to you or to me if I'm thinking if that's the one for you. So yeah.
Yeah, we just have to put trust in the process, don't we?
You do. Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for clarifying that, Susan.
That's okay. It's good to see you again. Okay.
See you, everyone.
Bye.